Good morning, everyone. Today we are going to do a lesson and activity, actually an assignment and an activity. It's self-guided on Victor Vasarely, MC Escher, and OpArt. And so if you go into Classroom and go to Vasarely, Escher, and OpArt activity, you are going to see three files in here, and one of those is a kind of a web quest. It's essentially you're going to go through and use these two links. The first one is for the questions relating to Vasarely, and then the second is about MC Escher. And as you go through these, you're going to come across questions that are directly from the links, from the bios in the links. And then you also have some questions where I'm going to ask you to select an artwork. These are Victor Vasarely's artworks. And then I'm going to ask you for your reaction. And I want you to think about what we talked about with color schemes from last class, or 2 classes ago, when we did the color activity. I want you to think about what color schemes are present, and there might be multiples. It might be monochromatic, or it could be a complementary color scheme where you have opposite colors. It could also be all warm colors or all cool colors. So see if you can figure out which ones of those, and it could be more than one, pertain. And then you're going to have questions about MC Escher and some of his pictures down here. And one thing I will tell you, and this is this might help you relate to MC Escher's work a little bit, but if you've seen the movie Inception, a lot of the special effects in Inception were inspired by MC Escher's work with perspective and creating optical illusions. So take a look at these, and you're also going to answer similar questions for those, and then I'm going to ask you to kind of compare the artists. And I really want you to think about, these are both artists from the 19th and 20th centuries, so they're a little older. They're, not super recent, and their work has had a huge impact on a lot of different things that we see in design today. So I want you to kind of think about where you've seen different examples of op art. And after you finish that, the last thing I'm going to have you guys do is an activity that I believe, is going to be kind of a nice relaxing end to the week for you. And that is, I want you to go into this folder called Op Art CPs, aka Op Art Coloring Pages. Click on that. Look through all these pictures and pick one out that you like. You can double click on one of them and it'll put you in this little gallery view. And as you can see, it's basically a coloring page. It's black and white with heavy outlines. And what you're going to end up doing is using either Photopea or Photoshop to color these. And I want you to think about a specific color scheme that you're going to use. So what I did to help you with that, if you need a refresher, is I included the interactive color wheel down here. And if you click on that, it should open up. And if you look at color combinations, these are our color schemes. And so what you can do is pick a color. And then, for instance, with complementary, it's automatically on complementary. I can see that blue's complement in this case is this yellow color. If I go more towards red, I'm going to get green, and so on. So you can kind of see how these work. And then there's monochromatic, which they'll show you, okay, so you got just basically different shades of the same color. We got analogous, which are 3 colors that are next to each other on the color wheel. We have triadic, which, like the primary colors, well, this is the primary colors according to computer displays. It's RGB color model, but you can use wheel, like you can use these types of triads, or you could use the triads in a traditional color wheel. It's up to you. But as you can see, there's that, and then there's tetradic, which is 4 colors that are opposite each other, spaced out evenly on the color wheel. So you can pick your colors that way if it helps. And you're going to pick out one of these pictures. I'll just use, I already actually have it, but I think I'll use that. Yeah, that's the one I have. And so what you're going to do is then download it or add it to your drive so you can open it up in Photoshop or Photopea. And by, the power of, getting this done right before class, or right before I started this recording, I have the file already open here, but essentially to open it, you'll go to File, Open. This is in Photoshop and in Photopea. And you'll need to locate the opart - whatever file you're opening. And then you can use gradients and you can use the paint bucket. So paint bucket, again, if you're in Photoshop or Photopea, if you don't see it, chances are you see the gradient, and you can hold down your mouse on the gradient button until you see the photo bucket or the paint bucket. So I'm going to go ahead and just paint a few things in here. And then I'm going to alternate my color. Actually, yeah, I'll do like, I don't know, blue maybe. Get all patriotic and stuff here. And as you're adding these colors, again, think about patterns. We were talking about principles of design, and pattern is one of those. And how whatever pattern you create, could create visual interest, or could communicate a message in some cases. This case it won't. It's just going to be pretty. The other thing you can do is you can do gradients. If you would like to, you can do a gradient instead of filling in different things. You can do alternating gradients or whatever. And in this case, what I'm going to do is use the magic wand tool to select first, just like I showed you before. But I want to show you a trick. If you hold down the Shift key on either Photopea or Photoshop, it'll allow you to add to the selections. So now I'm selecting multiple cubes on here. And I'll just follow this around. Whoops. I'll just do those right there. If you do Alt, you can subtract from your selections. So I'm just going to do these right now. And if I do a gradient now, I already have red and blue selected. I'll just go with that so I can show you. And then click and drag across all that. You can see it fades blue to red all the way over there. I can do it that way. You might have different options. I don't know what Photopea has for this. I'm looking at Photoshop right now. But you can also do, it's called a radial gradient. There's they call it angle. It's also called conical, where it creates kind of like a cone shape. It starts with the red and then goes around in a circle shape around it. And then there's the reflected, which essentially is the second color faded to the first color and back to the second color. So you got red to blue to red. And then there's this kind, what do they call it in here? Pyramid or something like that. Diamond gradient. There you go. All right, so anyways, you're going to end up coloring this coloring page, and when you're done, File, Save As PSD, whatever you want to save it as. Put it in somewhere like your My Documents where you can find it, and you can type in, like in my case, I did complementary colors, so I'm going to name my file complementary. And then when you hit save, then you're done, and you can turn that in. You just go into Classroom and turn it in. And so you're turning that in the same Dropbox that you do the form in. So it's going to be this Dropbox. You'll go to turn in, attach file, whatever it says, and turn it in. And that's it. So I hope you guys have an excellent weekend, and let me know if you have any questions.